injustice, this system full of racism.
Yeah.
And one thing I look at and I see between all of us, we are all united here right now about the fact that we the people are the people that put them in place.
Hold on. Let's get back at the table. Why not just go start your own league?
Many blessings, kings and queens. Always appreciate the love. Hope everything is well with you and yours. I gotta hit on something that frustrates me about the common Negro of today. And I think that this is one of the ills and the sickness that in our black community a lot of us Africans face currently. And this sickness is white approval. This is a common disease that plagues the Negro. The approval of the white society on what we do gives the validation for the Negro to feel he's made it, he's arrived. I mean, think about it. When the Negro who's already made major strides in the hood with his music finally hits the European radio stations, he's arrived, he's made it. When the Negro has elevated from the BET circuit and moved into Grammy nominations, and mainstream America, which is a majority white America, approves of their talents, that you've already been validated by your fellow Africans, they've arrived. And particularly, I was shell-shocked when Viola Davis, and blessing to the Queen, because she said some real things on her speech. She won the Emmy Award for Best Actress, and I applaud that whole situation because Kerry Washington had been passed over a few times with her move on Scandal. And when I thought about it, because she was a first colored woman in 2015. Let's think about it. The first colored woman to ever win. First colored woman. And now, remember, this is 2015. And I know this Emmy Award has been around for a while. So, of course, the knucklehead would probably say, see, black people, you guys are making strides and you guys are equal. But what I tripped off of was the fact that everybody on social media, for the most part, was up in an uproar and was congratulating her, and they made a big deal about her winning this award. Again, I looked at it like, well, this woman has already been established. You know, she has already won awards. And I'm thinking, like, when the black people gave her awards, it was no big deal. It's like she got it and she moved on. But when the white people gave her this prestigious alleged award, everybody was up in arms, and it was the greatest thing that ever happened. And to me, I have to pause and think, why is that so great? Got to think about that for a second. Why is it that we celebrate when we get approval from white America that don't approve of anything that we really actually do? But as soon as they co-sign, we feel we made it. It's like we want to get involved and break into their secret society. I mean, think about it. A majority of these sports athletes, what do they have in common? They got white women. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm going to rock with my sister. I'm going to go through my stretches with my queens, through the college ranks, the high school, you know, make my elevation. And as soon as I move up the ladder, what happens? I'm going to cut them off and I'm going to get me a white girl. And I'm asking myself, well, why? And then why do we wait and participate at these award shows, whether it's the Grammys, whether it's the Emmys, American Music Awards, any of these shows, to get their approval? And a lot of the times, they take our music, they take our music, they steal our music, they steal our culture, and they reverse it and throw it back in our face. And they ask us to deal with it. But yet and still, we continue to wait for their validation, wait for their approval, wait for their signature to say, you've made it. You are now a part of the mainstream society. And that's the reason why I look at so much of what's going on today is a lot of our fault, because we continue to go for the banana in the tailpipe. The banana in the tailpipe. We continue to believe in our minds that this society that they've created is a greater society that we can create for our own. What keeps Negroes sick, which keeps Negroes on the plantation. Because at the end of the day, with Whitey signs off, they feel that they validated, that they've made strides, that they are now official. But when you're validated by your people, it's not a big deal. I've always hated that person when a black coworker would say, "Hey, John, you might want to go ahead and move that box before Miss Janice comes in." They shun you off, and then here comes a white coworker. They say the same exact thing, and guess what? Boom, they move the box. It's a sickness that we really have. It's a sickness that we don't appreciate or respect what our own people. We don't gravitate to what our own people have to say. When our own people validate us, it's not enough. But when Whitey signs off, Whitey gives that stamp of approval, bam. We won. We rete. We rete parte. And then we forget about everything that has to do with black. And I'm not saying that Miss Davis, because the sister said some powerful things. She said some things that I felt that needed to be said. And of course, the hate came. But I still didn't like the reaction of us as individuals, as a group of people, to always feel like now we've made it because white man, white woman has validated our coming, our arrival. When in the end of the day, and the reality, if they, especially when it's sports, if they had the opportunity, if we weren't genetically superior to them, they would have a whole bunch of white people running through your screens every Sunday. Trust and believe that. Trust and believe that. But they're smart because they see the dollar signs and they know how to operate and they know how to play the game. So if it's going to sell, they're going to buy in. They've always bought into the black culture as long as it sells. But we have to start figuring out a way to get away from accepting, feeling we need, and feeling accomplished and validated when they approve us, when you've already been approved. She's already won awards with BET, NAACP. Not saying that NAACP is anything, but these are awards in our community. We have our own shows. We have our own award shows. We have our own things, but we do not, as a whole, feel like these things are as important as the white establishments. And that's our issue. I'm telling you, pay attention. Feel how you feel when you go into a black establishment to a white establishment. The acting and the behavior is totally different. I'm guilty of it. I've done it myself. We all guilty of it. But when you wake up and you smell the coffee and you see what it's really all about, I don't care about nobody's approval. I don't, especially white people's approval. I mean, come on now. They've been trying to turn me in like them for my whole life. It doesn't work. We got to be proud and we got to be conscious, and we have to be validating ourselves and not letting another group of species validate us because they want us to be and look and act like them. Let's get off the slave mentality and the slave plantation, and let's focus on validating each other and not worrying about validation from others. Peace, and I'm out.